like a Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel where once again it's time for another Sega Master System review, and today we've got a game which I consider an all-time classic in the arcade. That game is Shinobi, which saw release in the arcades towards the end of 1987, followed by a June 1988 release in Japan and an October 88 release over here in the PAL region. So, Shinobi is a side-scrolling action platform that sees you take control of Joe Musashi, the Master Ninja, on his quest to defeat the Ring of Five, a terrorist network led by 5 evil ninjas with powers similar to yourself. The Ring of Five have kidnapped the children of the world's leaders, and it is Joe Musashi's job to go through all of the levels, rescue the hostages, and defeat every single member of the Ring of Five. So, for anybody new to the channel out there, what I do when I review a game is I talk about how it looks, how it sounds, how it plays, what kind of content and lifespan it's got, whether it's still worth playing today, and where it will feature in our top 10. Obviously, we're talking about the Master System again today, so Shinobi has to see if it can throw Sonic the Hedgehog off top spot if it wants to be number 1 in our Master System top 10. So like I always do, I'm going to start with visuals first, and for mid-1988, Shinobi is one of the very best looking games on the Master System. I think the Master System did a really good job of replicating the arcade game, definitely as good as it could do for that point in time. Everything's bright, colourful, it's clear, it runs well. All the animations for Joe Musashi's moves are pretty good too. There isn't really much negative things to say about the game in all fairness visually. There's a little bit of sprite flicker here and there, but it's definitely nothing that's going to hamper the game. And overall in the looks department, I do feel Shinobi is a good looking game. So moving on to sound effects and music next, and without a doubt, Shinobi is a really good sounding Master System game, and I've said this for lots of other games as well so far on the system. It's got a really decent soundtrack, it really does, and it's got good sound effects for all your weapons and hits on the enemies too. There is one small downside though, and that's just the fact that there's not a lot of variety in the music. You get the same tune playing for every single standard level and the same tune playing for every single boss level. So if you don't like the tune, it's probably going to get repetitive. Now, thankfully for me, the musical tracks in the game, I believe, are really, really good. So what I'm going to do is give you an example of some of these tracks. So moving on to the gameplay next, and Shinobi sees you moving through the majority of the levels side to side. Sometimes you'll need to jump up, sometimes you'll need to jump down to platforms below to complete the level and progress. Now there's 5 different stages, each with several levels. Once you reach the final level of each stage, you will face one of the 5 bosses, defeat all the 5 bosses, and you will complete the game. It's that simple. Now, in terms of controls, Shinobi actually plays really well. You move with the D-pad button, one fires your shurikens, you can crouch and can fire shurikens too. Button 2 jumps. You can jump and fire shurikens as well. Now, if the enemies get close enough to you and you unleash your attack, you will do a melee attack to take them down. Your attacks can be upgraded by collecting the hostages throughout the levels, which means you get more powerful shuriken attacks and you can get better melee weapons too. You can also get bonus points, you can get extra health, you can refill your health bar, and you can go on to the bonus stage by collecting enough hostages. So once you're on the bonus stage, if you can complete that level, you will get a piece of ninja magic. If you can defeat the purple ninja and finish the stage, you will get 2 pieces of ninja magic. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am terrible at the Shinobi special stage on this game. I haven't actually managed to see all of the ninjutsu magic within the game ever, and the game has been out over 35 years. But I have managed to do it, so you can see a bit of ninja magic on the screen now. Now, it's not spectacular, not going to lie, but it can help you in the stages. It can freeze the enemies, it can kill all the enemies on the stage as well, and there are a few other bits as well, so it does add a little bit of spice to your repertoire. So moving on to content and lifespan next, and like I've said, there are 5 stages, each with several levels and a boss as well for each stage. You can also access the bonus stage, meaning there is quite a lot of levels to see, lots of variety. There's a fair amount of enemies as well, so you're not getting bored of fighting the same enemies over and over again. Now, without a doubt, the game is challenging to play through, I'm not going to lie, and once you die and lose your power-ups, it's even more difficult. So ideally, you really want to be able to play this game without losing a single life if you want to be successful, and it does get harder towards the end. One level in particular is incredibly difficult to get through without dying. It really is. So it's a kind of game that you've got to practice, so you know how to avoid certain enemies and defeat ones and get through the levels as successfully as you can without losing your power-ups. Now, the game will probably take around about 20 to 30 minutes if you can play through it in one go without losing all of your lives. But the great thing is, because it's enjoyable to play and it's got a good soundtrack, you're not going to get too bored playing it, and you don't mind keep playing it again to get better and better. And that's one of Shinobi's best qualities, really, in all fairness. So without a doubt, content and lifespan, it's not a massive game, but you don't get bored if you keep trying to do it and be successful at it. So like always, that leaves us with our 2 final questions. Is Shinobi still worth playing in 2024? And where will it feature in our Master System top 10? Now, without a doubt, Shinobi is still a fun, enjoyable game. And if you've never played it, I suggest you go and give it a go. It is a really decent game to still play nowadays. Now, where does it feature in our Master System top 10? Now, Shinobi's not a perfect game. It is really good overall. It does have a few niggles. It doesn't have like an alternating 2-player mode. It's got a bit of sprite flicker. And yes, there's not many musical tracks within the game, but they don't really detract from it being a great experience. Now, obviously, you'll know that Sonic is number 1 in our list, followed by Streets of Rage. Shinobi isn't quite as good as those 2 games overall. I think because they're slightly newer, they are slightly better in just pretty much every way. But all the other games lower down the list, Shinobi competes with them really well. And certainly the games down the bottom of the list, My Hero, Street Fighter 2, Streets of Rage 2, it is easily better than all of those games. It's better than Transbot as well. It's only when we get to Alex Kidd in Miracle World and also the Ninja that Shinobi has a little bit more of a challenge. But if I'm looking at the game overall, the variety of the levels, how it looks, how it sounds, I think Shinobi is better than Alex Kidd in Miracle World, and actually Shinobi is slightly better than the Ninja as well, and I really like the Ninja. So Shinobi is coming into our Master System top 10 in the number 3 spot. Now, like always, these are my thoughts and my thoughts alone, and I'm always interested in hearing other people's opinions on the games that I review, where you think they should be in the Master System top 10. And of course, if you had the game when it originally came out way back in 1988, or if indeed you played the arcade version when that hit arcades in 1987, let me know with your comments down below. That is it for this week, and the Master System game done and dusted. Hopefully, I will be getting back to some Saturn reviews in the near future. That is it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll be back in the near future with another review. Goodbye for now.